So, in this channel, we've spoken about a lot of things: personalization, relevance, deliverability. But one thing that I have not yet exposed is how do we do relevance at scale. And we use a technique called liquid syntax. So, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use it. Note, before I begin, this video is for advanced cold emailers only. I'm assuming you know all the basics and then you're moving on to this video. Today, I will talk about how you can use and implement liquid syntax in your email campaigns. And I'm also going to have some examples of how we've implemented it before to help you understand it better. So before I begin, what is liquid syntax? Right? Like, cool sounding term, but what does it actually do and like what it even means? So liquid syntax is conditional logic in text. Think about it like using if statements, else if statements, or even like else statements that you can write inside your emails, and that will take conditions based on the data that you enter. Pretty cool. Liquid syntax is what we use in almost all our campaigns. Like, I would say 90 to 95% of us campaigns have liquid syntax. And ever since we started using liquid syntax internally, our positive responses have increased by 20%. So we A/B tested this over thousands and thousands of cold emails. Obviously, how you use liquid syntax makes a huge difference here. So here's the basic syntax of liquid syntax. Look at the number one. So you see two curly brackets followed by a pound sign and then if. That's how you open the if statements. If first name. So we're telling liquid syntax, hey, if first name exists, or if there is any data in the first name column, say hey first name. Else, say hey Mr. last name and close the if statement brackets. So that will just print hey first name if there's a first name, or hey Mr. last name. Let's go into like a more complicated example. Note that we're closing the if statements at the end. The next one is like if position equals to founder, then say this statement. So what it's doing here is like position is like a variable inside your CSV that you have uploaded into your sender. And if the position matches the word founder, then you're going to say as the founder of the business, and like it's just going to be a relevant line. The assumption here is that rest of your email copy is similar, and obviously you're doing this at scale, so you can't really be like creating new campaigns every single time for every single variable. So these are all the operators that you can use. So if you look over there, like you have some greater than operators and operators, all of that stuff, you can combine it. So let me give you some examples on how we use liquid syntax, how we've used it internally, and how it's helped us. Initially, when we started it, we were using it a lot for like relevant first lines. So this one's kind of like a longer one, so I'll break it down for you. What we are doing is we had this sheet where we scraped Google Maps, and we wanted to find some form of like an introduction, a soft email opener. So what we did was uploaded the ratings column, how many ratings they had, how many pictures they had, whether they had a Facebook, whether they had an Instagram. And we used a waterfall method with if ELSIF. So first we were checking if they had a rating of greater than 4.5. We used to say saw that you had a rating on Google. We used ELSIF, check the number of pictures, ELSIF whether they had a Facebook, or ELSIF whether they had Instagram. And then we close that. So you can see the syntax over there, double brackets open, we're putting the statement. Then when you want to end the statement, you put double brackets open and put ELSIF, else, or close the statement. So this is how it really looked like. So if for a company with Google rating greater than 4.5, we had the first line saw that you had a rating on Google. So for a company with pictures greater than 50, saw some of companies' pictures with Google, congratulations on what you have built. This helped us keep our campaigns very relevant. You can use this for anything else. And obviously, like going back here, like you can't just like go into like a hard pitch after this. It needs to be like a relevant line of like congratulations on what you've built and stuff like that, right? Like if you look at like love that you're helping people with restoring roofs. So we had like super relevant breakdown after this. You can't just be using like, hey, your shoes are white, let me sell you cold email or anything of that sort. Like it has to be relevant lines throughout. So this one I'm going to do a bigger video on as well. But if you think about this one is like we were helping companies with like recruiting firms, or like we were helping recruiting firms recruit for companies. So we checked whether that company had a recruiter or not in-house. if they had a recruiter equals to this, yes, how do you typically recruit at XS? Should I be reaching out to recruiter name instead? Else, if they did not have a recruiter, I noticed that you did not have an in-house recruiter, so I thought you would be the person to reach out. This was extremely powerful because now it shows that you're not reaching out to random people in the company, and this also makes them feel super important. So yeah, some things to watch out for before you do it is like make sure that your operator is wrapped in single quotes. So an equal to sign will not work. You need to do both, like double equal to inside operators. So if you see that over here, and anytime you use something like liquid syntax where you're adding complexity to your emails, review your copy and make sure it is working well before sending it out. Like debugging, testing, if you've done any of those before, super important to like add this to your entire thing. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and see you soon.